This is Canada, for God's sake. The violence continues. We've got a right to protest in this country, but not a right to break the law. In Toronto, a Jewish protester was stabbed in the face by a pro-Hamas thug. 3 arrests, I think, may even be 4, have now been made. In Calgary, a group of Jewish and non-Jewish people supporting Israel, they've been assaulted. Amongst them, Shane Hamilton and Jeff Willerton, who join us now from Calgary and Edmonton. Let's begin with you, Jeff. You went to this protest. Not that this should really matter, but I don't think you're Jewish, are you?
I am not. I'm just a Christian supporter of the nation of Israel.
Right. OK, so you went along to peacefully show your support for Israel. What happened?
Correct. A friend and I were holding an Israeli flag, entering into respectful debate with those who wanted to engage us. When a guy came along, stole the flag, stomped on it, stole the flag out of our hands, stomped on it. I tried to get the flag back, and he responded by sucker punching me in the side of the head. OK,
let me stop you there, because we've got a clip. It doesn't show everything that went on, but let's see the clip of what happened to Jeff, please. I've said tensions in Calgary. I've got to say, no, criminal behaviour in Calgary. I don't care how passionate people are about a subject. You were assaulted. You were physically attacked. Has anyone been arrested yet?
No. The police were very clear that no charges would be laid. We hopefully will beg to differ, but anyways.
Well, this is what happened in Toronto, but they changed their mind after, well, Sun News exposed the fact that people were physically attacked, stabbed and so on. You were peacefully, not even protesting. You were supporting one of this country's closest allies on the street, and a group of thugs beat you up. Did the police try to protect you in any way?
They weren't there to do so. They had been told 2 days ahead of time that both groups would be there and warned that they should be there. For some reason, they chose not to be.
Are you okay?
Yes. I got away pretty lucky. After the guy clobbered me once, a group of them prevented him from doing so. A group of Palestinian supporters basically physically prevented him from doing it again because he wanted to. Yeah, and I'm thankful for them. But
yeah, and we should emphasise this, by the way, that a lot of the people there, they don't approve of this. I mean, they don't approve of the violence. It's a small number who get involved. They also stole your property. He stole your flag, I think.
Correct.
Right.
And I was trying to retrieve it, which I believe is my right to do so, which I have a right to do so, when the altercation took place, the first altercation.
Okay.
And then Merle and I, my friend and I, went across the street to put some distance between them and I. We met a handful of other pro-Israeli supporters, easily identified by the Israeli flags around their necks. All
right. By the way, the police don't make the decision. If the law is broken, they don't have the option to say, no, I don't think there's an issue. The law, we have video evidence the law was broken. We will keep pushing until charges are laid and people are arrested. By the way, also 2 women were assaulted. Shane Hamilton, what happened to you?
Well, I showed up with my family. There was about 6 of us. We all had peaceful signs. We had our Israeli flags, and we were pretty much just having messages of peace. We stood together. They crossed within 2 minutes of us arriving there, about 100, I don't know, 50 of them crossed the street and started to get into our face, started yelling at us and swearing. And I was holding my Israeli flag up high, and within minutes, someone tried to pull it down, and I turned to see my friend getting sucker punched in the back of the head, and I went to help him. And then immediately I started getting hit by more than 6 or 7 people in my face and stuff.
Right.
I was even bit, if you can see that.
Yeah.
In my wrist. And
nice. Well, I mean, I'm sure it was all in the name of peace and harmony. Now, what happened to you? Did you go to hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital later, and I was diagnosed with a concussion.
Right.
and I'm getting headaches every day.
Really?
I'm sore right now.
What is your general health like? Because someone told me that you had some poor health anyway.
Well, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so that didn't help with anything. Yeah, my sugars were pretty high by the end of it, so I was pretty stressed out. Yeah,
well, I spoke to a young lady who was also there, and this was the middle of the night. She was emailing me. I mean, this was terrifying. I've been to many protests over the years, and there are pictures. I was at the Toronto protest. There were pictures of the Ayatollah Khomeini, a mass murderer. A mass murderer. There were slogans that were deeply offensive. I don't have the right to beat people up just because I'm opposed. This is quite incredible. Any police contact? Did the police come to see you? Did they try to arrest anyone? Have you spoken to them?
Well, immediately after being attacked, I went and called 911 because I didn't see any police in sight, and I told them that we were assaulted. And within a couple of minutes, they showed up, but none of them actually really came and asked how I was doing. They mostly just tried to control the crowd. They weren't really focusing on the people that were hurt, as far as I saw. To either of you can answer this. What happens now? I mean, this is not really even about just Israel and Gaza. This is about the right to peacefully protest and the obligation of the police to do their job properly and not become political. So what do you want to happen now? Well, we were just using our right as freedom of speech, and I can't say that. I just want Canadians just to come together and just see that this is an issue that's affecting us all. It's not just the Jewish people. And
I mean, again, to both of you, I don't believe anyone has the right to use violence just because they're upset. I mean, there are people quite clearly identifiable there. Flying kicks, punches, surely they have to be charged.
Yeah.
I would certainly agree.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. We're very good on this network of pushing until we get answers. And I have the greatest respect for the police. They generally do a wonderful job. I saw them in Toronto after there'd been a problem outside Palestine House. They followed up. They were there at the protest I was present at in large numbers. They did their job very well. In this case, they failed miserably. They have to put it right, and we will not let go of this story until they do. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having us on your program.
Russia arms these separatists. Russia trains these separatists.
The war of words continues over the deepening Ukraine crisis. We'll discuss what could happen next.
You're getting some of the belongings that are scattered across these fields here.
A reporter creates an uproar after he displays the belongings of the victims of the Malaysian airline. Shocking, but not heinous. I'll tell you why.
The world's conscience should be stirred when they see what's going on in Iraq today.
But first, the war on Christianity continues in Iraq with the latest ISIS ultimatum. Convert to Islam, pay a fine, or face death by the sword. Before all of that, over to our news desk for some hard news headlines. In tonight's arena, the latest on Israel and Hamas. The death toll mounts, hatred increases, and does anybody seriously believe that this will be the solution and the end? A young Canadian Muslim calls for a revolution in his religion and questions why we are so fawning around Islamic sensibilities, festivals and beliefs. Political violence in Calgary. Jewish and Christian pro-Israel protesters assaulted by a pro-Hamas mob, and the police don't seem to be on hand. After 1,500 years of Christianity in Mosul in Iraq, Mass will no longer be heard and the place is Christian-free. A horror story. But where are the European and North American protesters?
They did the massacre. It's only an eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind.
Gaza and Israel. I hate the deaths on both sides. I hate the outsiders on both sides claiming to care. I hate the lack of empathy on both sides. I hate the hatred. I hate the way the Marxists and their friends who supported Israel in the 50s and the 60s now call the Israelis Nazis. I hate the way Islamic fanatics pretend to care about the Palestinians when at the same time they slaughter their own people and use those same Palestinians as metaphorical and literal shields. I hate the hatred. I hate the way soundbite radicals with no sense of history or context refuse to grasp that Israel is not a product of design but of desperation, and that the Jews of Europe and the Arab world didn't just decide to take a holiday but fled to anywhere they could be safe. I hate the way liberal Christians obsess about Israel when if European Christians had genuinely followed Jesus when it came to their Jewish minorities and not slaughtered them, expelled them, persecuted them, gassed them, Israel would not have come into existence. I hate the hatred. I hate the way some on the right and in Zionist circles refuse to listen to the Palestinian experience and believe that Israel can do no wrong. I hate the way some evangelical Christians think the ghastly, gory, grotesque battle over Israel and Palestine is some sort of biblical combat and modern Armageddon to be fought vicariously by Jews and Arabs. I hate the hatred. I hate it when North American thugs in Paris attack synagogues in the name of Palestine, beat up old Jewish men in the street, and then scream about human rights. I hate it that kids from Pakistan will say not a word about their home country's blasphemy laws and murder of Christians, but roar their hatred of Israel when they probably couldn't even find it on a map. I hate the hatred. I hate the singling out of Israel for condemnation, but the ignoring of the murderous regimes that surround it. I hate the fact that Iran can hang young gay men, Syria can murder tens of thousands, and Turkey can occupy 2 countries and deny the Armenian genocide, but there are no demonstrations. I hate the hatred. I hate it when even supporters of Israel like myself argue that there has to be another way, that Palestine has to exist, that the settlements are wrong. We're mocked as compromises. I actually wear that badge with pride. I hate it when the same people who welcome Soviet diplomats, sportsmen and artists and now welcome diplomats, sportsmen and artists from repugnant Arab dictatorships boycott Israeli kids who can kick a ball or play an instrument. I hate the hatred. I don't have a solution. I don't even have much hope. And for someone who has spent so long in the Middle East, read so much, met so many people, listened to so many stories, I am, I suppose, a terrible disappointment. I'm obviously not as clever as those on both sides who know exactly how all of this can be settled. But I hate the damned hatred.